Module number 4, Healthy Soil. About soil. Healthy living soil is the foundation of any farming activity. Soil is the most important factor in producing healthy and productive vegetables, fruits, and grains. Soil must contain all the nutrients that are important for plant growth. The soil must be protected from erosion to keep a good topsoil and protected from the sun and wind to conserve its moisture. Creatures, biota in the soil must be protected because they are essential for creating healthy living soil. With healthy soil or with unhealthy soil. Good quality soil is very important in all gardens, small and large. The whole family, especially women who do most of the home gardening to supply nutrition for the family, should learn and understand about soil quality and techniques for improving soil quality. Most of these techniques are simple, do not require heavy work, and use local, inexpensive materials. Remember, this is addressed to Indonesia, not America. But soil principles should hold fairly consistently. Better quality soil will give better quality produce, with better nutrient supply and better taste. This is a good way to directly improve family health. Better health reduces the chances of becoming sick, increases thought and concentration, gives strength, energy, and a longer life. Good quality vegetables make people feel full when they eat them and keep them full for longer. In some places, the Earth's topsoil and nutrients are slowly disappearing because of regular burning of land and deforestation. This causes erosion and landslides. These practices must be stopped. Farmers must protect their soil. The soil should be viewed as a very valuable asset. What is healthy living soil? Healthy soil contains humus. Humus is partly broken down organic matter, mulch, manure, and plant material. Humus provides food for soil biota, which then become food for plants. Humus also stores plant nutrients, helps to bind soil particles together, improves soil structure, and soaks and stores water in the soil. Healthy soil means that the soil is alive. It contains millions of soil biota, which turn organic matter and nutrients into plant food. Soil biota includes bacteria, microorganisms, ants, worms, and many other very small organisms. It contains a balanced combination of clay and sand particles. The clay holds the minerals, and the sand allows drainage water channels. It is composed of 50% clay, sand, humus, and organic material, and 50% air pockets. The texture should be loose when pressed, not crumbly like sand or sticky like clay. Air pockets are very important because they provide space for the soil to hold a lot of water. The air provides oxygen that is needed by plant roots to process nutrients. They allow easy, fast, and deep root growth so that plants can soak up more water and nutrients. This will make the plants bigger and healthier. The soil can function as a nutrient bank. It stores nutrients that are ready for plant use, and those nutrients are then not lost from the soil. The soil will have a balanced pH level. This means that the soil is not too acidic and not too alkaline. The importance of worms in the soil. Worms are your best friends in the soil. These worms are earthworms, not the type of worms that make animals and people sick. If there are many earthworms in the soil, it is a sign that the soil is healthy. Earthworms eat the humus in the soil and then change that humus into nutrients. This is very good for the soil. Earthworms will continuously change humus into nutrients that plants can use. Dig the soil so that air can enter the soil. Improve soil structure and water drainage. Bring nutrients up from deep in the soil to supply food for plant roots. All worms need is mulch and compost. However, be careful with chemical pesticides, herbicides, and some fertilizers, because these chemical products can kill the worms in the soil. Benefits of healthy living soil. Plants are more drought resistant because the soil can store much more water, and plants can send their roots much deeper into the soil to receive water and nutrients. Plants are more disease and pest resistant because they are healthier. An unhealthy person will become sick more often. The same is true for plants. The plants produced will contain more vitamins and minerals, which if consumed will improve the health of the whole family, especially children. Reduces evaporation from the soil so that the soil will hold and store much more water. This will reduce the need to water plants. There will be millions of workers in the soil that manage nutrient availability, store those nutrients, and increase the amount of air in the soil. Worms are hard workers. The soil becomes easier to dig and work with because it has a loose texture. This is very important because it will save a lot of time and energy. It can save a lot of money if most of the land management is organic. Soil needs very little expense if good techniques are used. Remember to compile and reuse all plant and animal waste. Water will not be stagnant in the soil during the wet season. Even though healthy soil can store more water, good soil structure will also allow for drainage if there is too much heavy rain. Too much water can slow down plant growth and even kill plants if their roots become drowned in water. In areas where the soil contains too much clay, stagnant water can become a big problem. Making raised garden plots will also greatly reduce this problem. Hard soil, loose soil. To improve soil, use organic compost, mulch, and Eeehm, effective microorganisms, regularly. These are inexpensive to make, and they will increase the amount of soil biota and improve soil structure. Use mulch to protect the soil from direct sunlight, conserve water, and increase the amount of humus in the soil. Recycle organic materials such as leftover plant and animal material to return nutrients to the soil. Use legumes. There are many different types of legumes that can be planted, from seasonal to perennial. Legume plants provide nitrogen for the soil, can be used for mulch, animal feed, food for people, serve as windbreaks, help to prevent erosion, and more. Rotate crop production. Different types of plants need different types of nutrients. Crop rotation is useful for balancing nutrients in the soil. Crop integration will also help. To protect soil quality, don't compact the soil. Soil compaction reduces root growth, water storage, and water drainage, as well as damages soil structure. It also means that a lot of energy is needed to dig the hard soil. Leave the soil open. Do not leave the soil open, exposed to the sun. This will make the soil dry and more difficult to dig. Don't use anything that will kill soil biota. Soil biota are your friends and helpers for building healthy and balanced soil. Using pesticides and herbicides will kill them. Don't waste water. Water is a precious resource and should be stored in the ground. Water that is continually flowing can create erosion. Good water usage will reduce the risk of drought. If the soil is very dry, the amount of biota in the soil will reduce. Beware. Stop erosion. The first soil that is eroded is the topsoil. This is the most valuable layer of soil. The topsoil contains a lot of nutrients that could take years to replace. The soil will not be able to hold water. Plant roots will become exposed to the soil surface, and the plants will grow very slowly or even die. Stop burning. Burning destroys valuable materials that can be made into compost, mulch, and nutrients for the soil. Burning reduces the amount of soil biota. Burning dries out the soil and reduces water volume. Burning creates erosion and pollution. Different types of soil. By doing a simple experiment, you can identify the types of soil on your land. This knowledge will help you in choosing the best method for improving your soil. This is a very simple experiment, so even kids can do it. First, take 3 or more soil samples and place them in clear jars or bottles. Fill the container 2/3 with soil, then add water until full. Close the containers and shake them evenly. Then let the soil settle and you can see what type of soil you have. Clay will always be at the top, with sand underneath and very coarse sand at the bottom. Clay soil holds nutrients well, but does not contain much air. So when heavy rains come, the water can become stuck in the soil. While sandy soil will soak up water quickly and contains a lot of air, it easily releases nutrients and can quickly become dry. Improving soil quality. For all types of soil. For all types of soil, the best solution is to regularly use mulch, dry compost, and liquid compost. This will improve soil structure and the amount of air in the soil. This will increase the number of soil biota. It will increase the amount of available nutrients, and it will increase water storage capacity. For clay soils, the following steps are useful for improving clay soils. Reduce compaction, because once the soil becomes compacted, it sticks together. This makes root growth difficult, as well as making it difficult for people to dig. Add sand to improve soil structure. Use green manure crops and crop rotation to help improve soil structure over time. See the section on legumes in this module for more information on these techniques. Plant trees to help improve the structure of clay soils. Trees provide much material and their roots will help to break up the clay soil. Trees can also be combined with other types of plants. Gypsum can help to improve the drainage and structure of soil. This technique will improve clay soil structure quickly, but is expensive. This technique will not work well if the soil's pH is too alkaline. For sandy soils, the following steps are useful for improving sandy soils. Add 3 shovels of clay into liquid compost. The clay will bind nutrients, and when this mixture is used, the clay will stay in the sandy soil and hold nutrients within the soil. Add half a shovel of clay to a large bucket of water. Spray this mixture over the sandy soil. Using the liquid compost technique above is much better, but this method still adds valuable clay particles to the sandy soil. Use green manure crops to add humus to the soil. This will improve the sandy soil structure. Plant trees. In dry, sandy areas, it is better to plant trees than to plant annual vegetable crops. Soil pH. The soil's pH level is a measure of the acidity or alkalinity in the soil. For example, we can compare a soil's pH level with your stomach. If your stomach is too acidic, it will not work well. This will cause problems for your stomach and the rest of your body. The same is true with soil. In good conditions, the soil's pH level will be neutral. This will greatly improve the productivity of everything that is being grown in that soil. pH chart. If the soil is acidic, nutrients will easily leach out of the soil. Productivity will reduce, and if the soil is very acidic, only a few types of plants can be grown. Neutral pH, whatever sembang means, that's 6.5. If the soil is alkaline, there are many nutrients in the soil, but they are bound and not easily available for plants to use. Productivity will reduce, and only a few types of plant can be grown. By adding enough mulch, compost, and other organic material, the soil will contain more humus, which will neutralize the soil's pH levels and increase the amount of nutrients in the soil. Using chemical fertilizers, when the soil is too acidic or alkaline, will only be wasting money. Because a lot of nutrients will be bound in the soil or leach out of the soil, it will also create many more problems in the future. Identification of soil pH. Acid soils are generally found in wetland, areas with higher rainfall, and in the mountains. Taste sour like vinegar. Alkaline soils are generally found in dry land, coastal areas, and areas with lots of limestone. It tastes sweet. Testing soil pH. Soil pH can be accurately identified using a pH tester. A pH tester shows a series of numbers ranging from 1 to 12. Number 1 shows that the soil is most acidic. So 1 is very acidic. And number 12 shows that the soil is most alkaline. So 12 is most alkaline. The ideal soil condition will have a pH of 6.5 or neutral. In this condition, the soil is neither acidic nor alkaline. There are a few types of pH testers. Some agricultural workers and NGOs may have this type of tester. However, by identifying landforms, like swamps, rocks, and common tree types, you can identify the soil pH without needing this equipment. Solutions for balancing soil pH. The best solution for acidic or alkaline soils is to increase the amount of humus in the soil. This can be done by regularly using mulch, compost, liquid fertilizer, and other organic materials. Increasing the humus content in the soil will make the soil pH neutral, allowing more nutrients to stay in the soil and be available for plant use. Other solutions for acidic soils. Ash from wood fires. There must be no plastic content in the ash. Can be spread over acidic soil. Don't use more than 1 kilogram for every 30 square meters each year. Don't burn grass and plant materials to make the ash. Grass and plant materials are also very important for balancing soil pH. For acidic soil in small areas, crushed seashells will provide lime to help balance soil pH. For larger areas, dolomite can be used. Lime can also be used, but dolomite is better because it contains magnesium and is safer for plant roots. These materials are expensive and should only be used after the soil pH has been tested. Spreading dolomite on acidic soil. Kilograms of dolomite needed to raise soil pH levels to 6.5 for 30 square meters. So if the soil pH is 6, sandy soil 1 kilogram, loam soil 1.5 kilogram, clay soil 2 kilograms. All right, let me jump down to soil pH of 4. Sandy soil 4 kilograms, loam 8 kilograms, clay soil 10.5 kilograms. 1, 2. Balancing soil pH with green manure crops and pond soil. Other solutions for alkaline soils. Use 6 kilograms of compost per 1 square meter to lower soil pH by 1 point. For example, 8.5 pH to 7.5 pH. This does not need to be applied all at one time. Use 2 kilograms of manure per 1 square meter to lower soil pH by 1 point. Iron sulfate, FeSO4, or other materials that contain sulfur can also be used, but they are expensive. It is best to test the soil pH before using these materials. Amount in kilograms of iron sulfate or other materials that contain sulfur needed to lower soil pH by 1 point per square meter. Material: iron sulfate, sandy loam soil 2 kilograms, clay soil 8 kilograms. Material that contains sulfur: sandy or loam soil 300 grams or 1/3 kilogram, and clay soil is 1 kilogram. Nutrient cycles. All plants need nutrients to grow. Some of these nutrients are stored in the plant leaves, fruit, stems, trunk, and roots as the plant grows. Trees and deep-rooted plants are able to soak up minerals from deep down in the soil through their roots. But these minerals are sometimes not available in the soil. Trees will also soak up water from deep in the soil, like a big water pump. Some nutrients are used for plant growth. Others are used by the plant to form fruits or seeds, or are stored within these fruits or seeds. This is the same for vegetables and other smaller plants. These nutrients can become lost from the system, the soil, and need to constantly be replaced. A lot of nutrients can be recycled back into the soil through humans, animals, compost, and mulch. Some nutrients that do become lost can be replaced by using some soil improvement techniques, such as planting seasonal and perennial legume trees, implement crop rotation and allowing the land to lie fallow, not planting for a period of time, using compost, dry or liquid, using seaweed, manure, animal bones and carcasses and other organic materials, applying mulch regularly, implementing a variety of systems, for example, planting many trees, which besides functioning as a windbreak, will also attract birds and other wild animals, which will then naturally give manure to the land. You can also keep pigeons. Their manure is easier to collect. Bird manure contains high concentrations of nutrients and is a very beneficial high-quality natural fertilizer when dry. In tropical climates, a lot of nutrients are stored in trees and only a small amount are stored in the soil. Therefore, cutting down trees means removing nutrients from the system. The soil will only last for 1 or 2 years, after which it becomes poor in nutrients and not very good for growing crops. In Indonesia, the amount of forest is continually reducing, mainly caused by clear cutting and burning. Forests are being cut down primarily for commercial purposes, and forest burning happens almost every dry season. Besides this, forests are being used for many other needs, such as agricultural land, new residential settlements, farmland, animal grazing land, and a source of firewood. Burning land is a very serious problem because it reduces soil fertility and removes valuable nutrients from the soil. Each time leaves, grass, and other plant materials are burned, nutrients which are stored in plants become lost. This occurs both on agricultural land as well as on animal grazing land. After burning, the ash does provide a small amount of potassium and minerals, but the nutrients that have been removed are much more than what is contained in this ash. To get potassium, using ash from kitchen cooking fires is enough. Remember, the more nutrients that are recycled back into the system, the less outside inputs are needed. Nutrient deficiencies. In some places, a lot of soil is nutrient deficient. Some areas are very deficient, and others only lack 1 or 2 types of nutrients. Just like people, plants need a range of vitamins and minerals to grow well. If nutrients are not available, plants will be smaller and more susceptible to drought. Pests and disease. Plants show specific signs when they are missing a nutrient. For example, missing nutrient, nitrogen. Plant characteristics. Leaves and new growths are yellow and pale. Early maturing fruit and flower size is smaller. Missing nutrient, potassium. Plant characteristics. Leaves are small and darker in color. Older leaves are blue-purple with yellow edges. Plant growth is slow. Missing nutrient, phosphorus. Plant characteristics. Fruit size is small and poorly colored. Burnt leaf edges and yellowing of older leaves. Missing nutrient, magnesium. Plant characteristics. Yellowing leaf edges. Yellow spots, but the leaf veins stay green. Often there are brown spots on the leaves. Old leaves drop off faster. That should be OFF. Missing nutrient, sulfur. All leaves have, and the plant characteristic is all leaves have a dull color. Missing nutrient, calcium. New leaves the characteristics are new leaves and shoots grow and develop poorly, and unusual fruit growth. Missing nutrient, micronutrients. Plant characteristics, the symptoms vary. If plants are sick or not producing well, it is not enough to just add a basic fertilizer. In fact, this approach can even cause more problems. It is better to first try and identify the problem, and then to figure out what the exact deficiency is. In this way, problem solving will be more effective and inexpensive. Organic soil improvement strategies. If land is under cultivation, then nutrients are being used and must be replaced. To improve the nutrient condition, it is not enough to just replace the missing nutrients, but also with time there should be soil texture improvement so that the soil can store more nutrients and water. Natural organic fertilizers can be used regularly and can be applied before, during, and after planting. The nutrients that are not used will be stored in the soil for future use, both for short-term and long-term. Organic fertilizers will help to improve the soil's condition. It is always better to compost manures before using them as fertilizers. If the manure is fresh, especially bird manure, it can burn plants, especially small plants and young vegetables. The nutrients are also not yet available for the plant to use. This is the same as humans trying to eat rice, corn, or meat before it is cooked. Composting organic materials will concentrate the nutrients, making them easily available for plants to use. There are many different composting methods, some of which will be explained later on. Over time, by experimenting, you will find out what works best for your land, climate, and needs. This could be new techniques, traditional techniques, or a combination of both. Natural nutrient sources. Almost all nutrient deficiencies can be handled by using compost and mulch. This is the best and most balanced method. Sometimes a specific nutrient is not available in the soil or plants because of erosion, deforestation, or poor soil. This nutrient needs to be reintroduced into the soil and for best results. Add it again once or twice a year. This new nutrient should be recycled within the system as much as possible to reduce the need for more outside inputs. Some sources of new nutrients. Seaweed contains many nutrients and is beneficial to help replace missing nutrients. Many nutrients are washed out to sea with water because of land erosion or landslides. Bat, pigeon, chicken, and duck manure are concentrated manures. Bat and pigeon manure are the best, but all manure is good because it comes from organic sources. Animal bones, carcasses, and innards are a high concentrated source of nutrients and can provide a lot of micronutrients. These materials must be composted first, or buried under new fruit trees. Mulch and manure. Legumes with nitrogen to the soil. Wood ash from kitchen cooking fires can supply potassium. The soil from the bottom of a well-managed fish pond contains lots of nutrients. Mulch from water plants. Water plants are very good at taking and storing excess nutrients from water. Pond water also contains nutrients. Tree leaves provide a variety of nutrients because trees soak up minerals from deep in the soil. Micronutrient fertilizers. best if made from seaweed or rock dust, can be used to replace nutrients. This is not a normal fertilizer such as urea fertilizer, which does not replace certain lost nutrients. Eeehm, effective microorganisms. Organic compost provides microorganisms, bacteria, soil biota, and fungus. All these components or elements are important for improving soil structure and quality. Effective microorganisms is a liquid that can be added to compost or directly into the soil. Eeehm is used to speed up the composting process, make nutrients more available to plants, improve the quality of natural fertilizers, improve all aspects of soil quality. Eeehm can be bought from agricultural stores. The bottle of Eeehm that you buy can then be used to make more Eeehm because bacteria and microorganisms easily multiply. Only one bottle of Eeehm is needed to have a continuous supply. How to multiply Eeehm. Materials. Used water aqua bottles, water, palm sugar, and one bottle of Eeehm. 1. Fill the empty bottles with water. Add a slice of palm sugar and shake well until the sugar dissolves. Add 1 full capful of Eeehm, that's effective microorganisms. 2. Gently mix and stir in. 3. That should be 3. Leave this mixture in a dark place for 2 weeks. Avoid direct sunlight. Microorganisms and bacteria will multiply quickly because they will feed on the sugar. This new Eeehm is now ready to be used and can be used to make new bottles of Eeehm. How to use Eeehm. Liquid compost. Add about 1 bottle of Eeehm to 1 drum of liquid compost. Compost. Add about 1 bottle of Eeehm to a small amount of compost or 2 bottles of Eeehm to larger amounts of compost. Soil. Spray Eeehm liquid on agricultural land and around plants. Only a little Eeehm is needed because the microorganisms will multiply on their own. It is more effective to use Eeehm at the same time as when mulch and compost is added. Rice paddies. Add a few bottles of Eeehm into the irrigation water. This will be much more effective if combined with SRI, System of Rice Intensification techniques. Beware, microorganisms in Eeehm, pesticides, fungicides, and some types of non-organic fertilizers can damage or destroy plants by burning them.